I was feeling very anxious about boondocking or dispersed camping. I didn't know what to expect, and well, for one thing that probably helps is there's nobody here at all. And I don't know why that helps exactly. I guess I was wondering if it would be so full that I would be encroaching on somebody's space, and then I would have to go find another space somewhere else, and I wouldn't have a place to sleep, and that was one of my anxieties. Anyway, that did not happen, and actually there's nobody here. I did not pass anybody on the mile or so that I drove to get to this particular spot. So what this spot will not have is, it will not have a toilet or a shower. It will not have electricity or water. I have water that I brought. I have a battery that will act as electricity, although I don't know if the battery would be strong enough to run an air conditioner for very long, but it's not super hot at the moment. Welcome, Gugu-Gee-ans. Well, after a nice day at the Usuri Mountain Regional Park, I next decided to try my hand at boondocking in a BLM, or Bureau of Land Management, camping area. Boondocking, quite simply, is camping off the grid, and I will elucidate more as the episode continues. So the entrance to the dispersed camping is not terribly easy to see. Well, we are very near these mountains that I loved, and this is a very promising sign. 14-day camping limit. Camping on public lands at one location is limited to 14 consecutive days. After 14 days, campers must move to a new site or at least 25 miles away, or camp in a long-term visitor area. So, if this was not a BML camping site or a public lands camping site, I don't think I would see a sign like that. The turnoff was just a little dirt road with no sign at all. It was a little bit weird, but just 30 feet later was this sign about 14-day limits, which is a standard from what I have been reading. And now it comes to me to pick a camping site, I suppose. I don't see anybody. One thing about this site was that there is the potential for bad smells because it is near to a chicken processing plant where they dispose of the chickens, I suppose, and I think it's supposed to smell. But the wind generally would not go in this direction as a rule. So I don't smell anything. Anyway, we're going to find a spot. From what I understand, is from what I've read or seen online, is that you use a spot that has been established as a camping area previously. And there's a little fire pit here that has been established, and it seems to be well apart from anything that could catch fire. I drove in probably a mile from the road. I would say about a quarter mile down there, it started to get rather rough, a little rougher, a little bumpier, but we just took it slow, very slow. But the benefit is that I'm very close to these magnificent mountains. This, the ones that I had been looking at and was so excited about. There they are. There's a little camper. Just beautiful. The way the sun is hitting them right now is particularly nice. And I probably passed, I would say, 14, 15 pull-out camping spots Some of them could accommodate more than one person probably. If you were close or nice to the other person and they let you stay next to them. These little hills and mountains, really quite beautiful. The shape is quite beautiful, and we haven't had to say goodbye quite yet to our lovely saguaro cacti. Of course, I'm trying to use human power, and I'm not cheating and using Gugu-Gee-ans power. I mean, it would not be cheating, but I'm trying to enjoy this vacation as a human would. I do get human internet connection here, and of course I can always use my brain feed if I want to use Gugu-Gee-ans powered methods to get information or anything like that. I could even call my ship if I wanted to, but I'm trying to rough it, as it were. Well, whereas before one may have had some anxiety about other campers being here, when there is absolutely no one here, then you might begin to have anxiety in the other direction. Especially if you thought you saw a little beast popping up its head in a ravine, which was probably a bird, but your mind made it into a mountain lion. And then you'll pick up a rock, thinking that that will do some good. I'm glad I came here because such beautiful saguaro cacti, and this one in particular with the red blooms, fruit, it's just amazing. And there aren't a lot of other plants to sort of obstruct the visual view. It's sort of thinned out, so these cacti are the star, undoubtedly. So long, saguaro. I can't say saguaro. I'm tripped up. I'm tripped up with saguaro. Ah. And here's an idea of the road. Some places it's quite smooth. Interesting. I see a few flashing lights on a hill about a mile away. I don't know if it's some sort of signal or headlights or... Oh, it just went out. Quite interesting. Well, good morning. I'm at my dispersed campsite, and as you can see, I feel a little less compelled to wear a shirt out here in the wilderness with no one around. The sun is starting to come up. Hasn't quite gotten hot yet. The clouds are covering it at this point, and I've got my battery running. I did run the air conditioner for a little bit last night, for maybe 45 minutes, and it really ran the battery down. But it was hard to get the camper cool as I was sleeping, and then eventually it did cool down and my body cooled down as well. Or yes, cooled down? My body slowed down. I didn't bother to unhook last night. I just put the wheel down to provide some extra support. Anyway, I have some water going right now. Going to have some oatmeal with some fruit, some dried fruit. And it's funny, last night I was in the camper And it's quite funny. I had the water jug, the 2.5 gallon water container. You can see there it is. On top of the camper. I don't know what possessed me to do this. I thought that it would be stable up there, but there's a little bit of a slant to the roof, and I'm suppose with me moving around in the camper, it started to shimmy to the edge. But I had forgotten that I'd put it there, and it was dark, and I was getting ready to sleep, and suddenly a big boom, a big thud outside, and I was convinced that some creature was attacking the camper. And anyway, I did muster the courage to go outside after a little bit of listening to nothing, and then I saw the container on the ground, and I realized what had happened. Mystery solved. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Tune in next week when I will take this opportunity while boondocking to do some experiments with the battery. See you next time. By the way, very quickly, if you like the show, consider Buy Me a Coffee to help support the show. Buy Me a Coffee is a great way for creators and artists to accept one-time support or membership ongoing from their fans for the price of a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/brainfire to help the show. Thank you.
Take some coffee and some bagels and get out of here to where the weather